As you guys come into the building, be sure to hit the like button. Got to get to work. You already done know us over here. We stay actively focused on getting this content going. It's not a human. Like robots. Like nobody have a mind of their own. Nobody's thinking clear. It's a lot of mental illness in the world. Similar to when the pandemic was going on and people were getting the potion. A lot of people's minds are messed up till this day. A lot of you that view social media, you don't realize this, but your brain don't even work no more. Like you're incapable of understanding right from wrong. So when we have cases like this, it makes you more susceptible to listen to lies. That is one of the agendas that the pointy thing was really for. It was really to pretty much put black people in a state of mind where they're easy to manipulate. See, when I was in New York on the 9 to 5 during the pandemic, they were trying to get all of us to take the shot, and I refused to take it. And I ended up losing a very, very good job. You know what I'm saying? Making a lot of money, and I loved the job. You know, I took all sorts of tests, got all sorts of certifications, training. I mean, I worked my ASS off in order to get that career, and I really loved it. It was the type of job that I would go in, and I would work for free. If my supervisor needed me, I would literally stop whatever I'm doing to go to work because that's how much I literally enjoyed doing my job. The job gave me pleasure of serving people, making sure that people were taken care of. It is something that I took great pride in. So ever since the pandemic, I noticed a lot of people are suffering with mental illness, where people are not thinking straight. People stop caring about life. They are no longer able to think clear. It's like you could tell people anything and they believe it. Whereas there was a time when you could talk and they would think first, do some research, and then come back. But not today. Today they don't do that. So now it's like all of social media is like stuck on this Nolan Wells thing. I have a question for you. How many of you heard about the story of the black girl that was basically kidnapped by a ninja and held for 4 years, getting brutally, savagely, sexually violated? How many of y'all heard about that story? How many of y'all heard about the other story of the black woman who, when she was a child, she was sexually violated by a white man who was supposed to be some sort of counselor in a school? How many of y'all heard about that story? Of course not. Of course you're not. You don't hear about anything, you know? How many of you heard about the kids that were recently killed by their parents? You don't know about that. Of course not. It's not important. What's important is Nolan Wells. And it just goes to show that a lot of people are disconnected with reality. So now it brings us to two grifters, all right? And I want to talk about this because a lot of y'all think that I'm on people's sides. Like, I'm not on nobody's sides. When it comes to this work, I'm just here to do my job, right? This is why when you folks come to the content, y'all supposed to know the drill. Hit the like button, have a conversations amongst yourself. Let me work. Don't distract me. Let me do my job. It's no different. When you at your job, you got to handle paperwork. You can't have private conversations when you're trying to work. Do you understand that? You can't do that, or else you become distracted. You lose your frame of thought. You end up messing something up. So when it comes to this type of stuff, I need to think. And I find that for a long time, especially when I do content, I'm interacting and I'm wasting energy. I'm wasting a heck of a lot of energy, especially if nobody's supporting the work. It's like I'm wasting my time. This is why I tell people all the time, when you come to this platform, you want my attention, you hit that damn super chat. Show some damn support. I don't got time to be wasting energy, right? So now, and if anybody mad, you can always unsubscribe and leave, because enough is enough. I'm tired of being the #1 content creator that speak this truth. And I'm hated. I'm hated for speaking the truth. You got all these grifters all over social media acting as if though they care about black people. We always talking about the black community. Half of you ninjas don't even live in the black community. I don't live in a black community. You understand? I'm tired of us talking about the black community like we're in a community by ourselves. No, those of you that are in the black community are around predominantly black people. That's a black community. You understand? The black community is not because I'm a black man and you're a black man and you're a black woman that we're in the same community, because we're not. I'm in a whole different world that I'm in. You understand? I don't even like being around people. I don't even like being around people, guys, when I tell you. I don't like being around people. People are weird. They're weirdos. You understand? It's like people are not the same anymore. There's a time you can say good morning to your neighbor. Now, it's like your neighbors are hesitant to even look your way. How many of you walked outside your house and you head into your car, your neighbor comes out, you look their way, they kind of look at you, and it's like, it's this awkward, like they're scared to death to even look at you, and it's like people are afraid to say good morning. Like, what the fuck is wrong with people now, bro? That's why I just stay away, fam. I don't like being around people, bro. Dating is dead. The whole fucking world is done, bro. Like, it's like a bunch of damn zombies. Everybody's in a personal prison. So we flock to social media to try to get away from our miserable lives, only to get brainwashed by grifters. What is a grifter? Basically, in social media terms, a grifter is someone who basically use a circumstance or something that's happening to their advantage to, I guess, further their agendas. They really don't care about whatever it is they're using, but they know whatever they're using will gain the attention needed to gain the support. So in the case of Nolan Wells, right, you have a lot of black people that jumped on board. Nolan Wells is not African American. Nolan Wells is a Filipino. His mother is a Filipino. They are not so-called black people. They're not. But the media painted them as such. So they further pushed this on us, or at least on you guys, not me. Because from day one, I was not in support of Nolan's family. I was in support of finding the truth, because I realized that the story already done been compromised by greed. So because Nolan appears to have melanated skin and the black community is uneducated on what bloodline and nationality mean, they deem anyone that has melanated skin to be black, not understanding there's diverse ethnic groups of people that have melanated skin, meaning they can look brown, dark skin. That doesn't mean they're so-called African American. Notice I said so-called, because a lot of y'all have hearing problems. Y'all come in my comments, y'all be like, Ringo, you're wrong. We're not Africans. We're not African American. Do you know how to listen? I said so-called. You know why I say so-called? Because that's what the fuck they call you. That's what they call you. I don't call myself that. That's what they call you. I'm speaking the language that you dumbasses understand. You call yourself African American because that's what they call you. Who? The white man call you that. The white man call you Negro. The white man gave you the name Black. None of that stuff represents you, but that's what you call yourself. When I was on the 9 to 5, and you know how they have those applications where you have to fill them out and it says Black? I never used that. I always went where it says other and I checked what I am. Because if you don't know anything about the system, if you are a so-called, notice what I said, so-called Black man, so-called African American, when you fill out an application and it says Black and you fill it in, and you identify that you're Black, what happens is you put yourself in a category. So now that company, they treat you as a group of people that they consider minorities. You ever wonder why Black people call themselves minorities? Do you know what the fuck a minority is? You know what that, you know what category you place yourself in? See, this is the mentality with these people, bro. It's like we need to be educated all over again, man. You calling yourself a minority. Do you guys ever even look this stuff up to see what you calling yourself? It's sick. But anyway, let's get back to the grift content of what these people are doing on social media. So at the end of the day, as you come into the building, hit the like button. If you don't like my content, unsubscribe. Just get a fucking life and move on. I'm tired of being Mr. Nice Guy. Like, seriously, guys, I am fed up talking to immature people. I'm trying to reach an audience, right, of people that are highly educated, people that are smart, people that has brain cells, that when you speak, they understand and they're not under that potion. Because I can tell you right now, guys, that sauce that they released, that sauce messed up a lot of people. It messed up a lot of people, fam. A lot of my coworkers, they're mentally gone, fam. A lot of my coworkers that I used to work with, they're mentally gone right now. A lot of them died. A lot of bad things happen, man. So much so I can't even talk about it on social media because they'll get rid of your platform if you share the truth about what really happening. But I want to talk about these two grifters. Now, some of you may say, Ringo, I thought you rock with Officer Tatum. When did I say that? When did I say that? I don't rock with nobody on YouTube. Fuck all these YouTubers. See, what you guys don't understand, right? You don't understand the politics of social media. Let me break it down for you. There are no friends on social media. Social media is a very dirty place. You have a lot of content creators that lie for a living. You got other content creators that are bought and paid for by the industry. These influencers are there to do what? Influence. Their job is to shape public opinion. Their job is to make sure that you stay programmed so that you be a good slave, so that you keep thinking a certain way. That's what influencer mean. So when you think about influencing people, an influencer's job is to shape your thoughts, to make you think a certain way. This is why a lot of you flock to certain channels, because they either are leading you in a good way or in a bad way. A lot of times you have content creators that, let's say they don't like Officer Tatum, right? And you go to a channel where somebody's, I guess, talking about Officer Tatum in a negative way. And that platform get a lot of views for talking about Officer Tatum. It doesn't mean that the content creator who's talking about Officer Tatum is a good content creator. It means that because they're talking about Officer Tatum, man, fuck calling him Officer Tatum. He's not no damn officer. Brandon Tatum, right? Let's just call him that. He ain't no damn officer. I'm tired of him trying to get like special like treatment. Officer, no, you ain't no damn officer, all right? If you have a content creator talking about Tatum in a negative way, and that content creator get a lot of views, it's not because that content creator is doing a great job. they're attracting all the people that hate Tatum. Did you get that? So they're not getting views because they're doing a great job. They're getting views because they're attracting the people that don't like him. You see that? So when you think about social media and the politics of social media, it's a system that has been designed with a tribal herd mentality. So what we have is people only flock to platforms that speak on the things they want to hear. So if I'm a so-called black man and I'm speaking against the black community in terms of trying to hold them accountable for the things and the evil, if you're black and that's not what you want to hear, then you're not going to support the work that I do. You're going to support grifters. These grifters are the ones that act like they care about the black community. You know, the pro-blacks, the FBA community, all of these groups is full of shit when you really think about it. At the end of the day, it's all about the almighty dollar. If you take, watch this, gang, you take monetization off social media, half of these people wouldn't even be here. Half of these people wouldn't even be here. If you take monetization off social media, a lot of the content creators that you see today, they wouldn't even be online. There would be no motivation to even be online because no money is being made. When I started in YouTube back in 2006, right, there was no monetization in 2006. I was on YouTube from 2006, guys. I did not monetize my platform till about 2018. Could you believe that? I didn't ever monetize my channel till 2018. I would even try to say 2017, possibly. But 2018, I got monetized, then I got demonetized, then I got monetized again, then I got demonetized. So I had my trials and tribulations. But I've been on YouTube since 2006, and from 2006 all the way to about 2017, 18, I wasn't even monetized. And I was just doing content for free. I was dedicated to doing this work. So when I see people talk about, oh, Ringo's doing what he's doing for money. This is a business, dumbass. What the fuck you think I'm on YouTube for? To sit on my ass all fucking day and stay broke and I got fucking kids to take care of, dumbass? It only comes from black people that say that type of dumb stuff. You don't say that to white people. You don't do that. Anytime you're black, for some reason, black people think you're not supposed to earn a living when you're literally putting in labor. This is what I do, right? Nobody says this about white content creators. Nobody say this about Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast make millions of dollars a month. Millions. I don't see nobody saying Mr. Beast is doing YouTube for money. That's not right. Because he's white. When you're white, you're right. You can make as much money as you want. When you're black, everybody questions you. Everybody do. Now, is Mr. Beast a grifter? No, he's a content creator. At the same time, there's a difference between a grifter and a content creator. What's happening on social media with the black community is we have majority of the content creators, they have become grifters and liars. They lie for a living. They make up fake news. They have selective outrage, fake outrage. They rage bait. And that's what I see with DL Hughley. DL Hughley acts like he cares about black people. He really don't. He's a failed comedian who's washed up, and anyone that he see that is doing anything that look like it's going against the black community, he begins to talk about them. Brandon Tatum is the type of guy that a lot of people believe he's basically trying to kiss up to white people. Now, I don't know who Brandon is married to. He's probably married to a white woman. Let me see if I could do some quick research to see if he is. I don't know if he is. Normally, under those circumstances, they be. But let me see if I can find out. Right? Is Brandon Tatum married to a white woman? Because they say that he's there to, okay, it says yes. Yes, Brandon Tatum, known as Officer Tatum, is married to a white woman named Corrine Tatum, as you can see. So, if Brandon is married to a white woman, then his content is going to, I guess, appear as if he's not really in support, or I don't want to say that it's not in support because I can't really say that. You get what I'm saying? Notice how fair and balanced I am. Being that he's married to a white woman, he cannot do the things that the black grifters are doing, meaning they're just angry with white people all day. Because if Brandon is married to a white woman, he can't be online. Yeah, these white people, these white. You're married to one, so it don't make no sense, you know. But let me shout out these super chats. This super chat real fast. Lynn, shout out to you for the $5 support, and shout out to Kimberly for joining the membership. Appreciate you stopping by. And shout out to all the channel members that showed up into the stream. Be sure, guys, to hit the like button. Have your conversations. Let me work. Because there's a lot of stuff that I got to talk about. And I cannot talk about these things if I'm distracted. Y'all know as well as I do that when it comes to these topics and I am serious, I am serious. I am tired of the games. I'm tired of all of this lying, this fake outrage. Everybody's acting like they're pro-black when they're ready, and nobody cares about the black community, or should I say black people in general, because I don't live in a black community. I don't. I live in a mixed community with diverse, different groups of people. And even in a mixed community, people don't talk with one another. Just because I'm in a mixed community does not mean it's better that everybody get along. Even if there's no crime, there's no drugs, there's no junk around me. At the same time, people don't really interact. So if you think that if you are black and you live in a mixed community or a white community, that it means everybody's getting along with you, think again. Most of the people that probably live around you don't even like you, but they don't know you, but they don't like you. Hate is something that is universal. Just because you move to a white community, mixed community, it does not mean everybody's going to treat you like a good old Christian guy. No, you may get an increased level of hate that you never thought existed. And I've made a video where I talked about the difference between the hood and some sort of town, suburban community, and so on and so forth. I talked about the difference between this based on what I see. And it really is actually worse than when you're in the hood. Now, in the hood, there's certain things you expect. You expect crime. You expect to hear guns. I mean, even in the South, you hear guns all the time, too. But it's not criminal activity. It's more or less people target practicing in the woods. They in the mountains. They out in the back of their yard and their house, and they just target practicing with their guns. So you do hear guns from time to time, but it's not like in the hood. When you hear guns in the hood, it's normally somebody getting killed. The only difference out here is that there really is no There's no gangs. There's no violence and just death every damn minute as in the hood. But now the difference between the hood is that you understand the culture of the quote unquote black community. You understand the culture and you more or less likely know people. So you're more familiar with the community and you tend to, it's a weird thing in the black community. Like, you can hear gunshots in the black community and you don't duck. Like, those of you that are in the hood, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you'll hear gunshots, you'll hear people shooting. You don't run for cover, you don't duck. You just continue going about your day because you know that that gun, that bullet, it's not for you. For some reason in our minds, we know that even though somebody getting shot right now, we know it's not for us. Because normally in the hood, when somebody is shooting, they're shooting at somebody that they trying to kill. So if you know you ain't beefing with nobody, you know nobody ain't targeting you. So you kind of just go about your business, and we become numb to gunshots where you don't even flinch no more. At least for me, that's how it was when I was in the hood. And it's like that all over New York. Like, if you're a real New Yorker, and you're black, you're not afraid to go to any hood if you're black and you live in the hood. It's just something built in you whereas other people will be afraid, like, yo, I'm not going to those projects. They wilding over there. You, on the other hand, you'll go, but at the same time, you understand the politics of the streets, meaning that if you go to another hood, you can't be over there with this ray nonsense. You still got to show respect. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about in the streets. It's just respect. If you respect people, they're going to respect you. If you come in front on people in their hood, especially in their hood, that can be problematic for you. So everybody know the rules. And if you don't know the rules, you'll learn the more you stay alive. The streets will teach you that as you go. So now Officer Tatum, being that he's married to a white woman, his content cannot be the pro-black content. He would have to more focus on a way in which he can speak without making, I guess, the wife that he's with feel like he's attacking white people. So now, being that he's in a situation like that, he took the approach of, I guess, any content that he makes, he talks about black people, and being that blacks don't like what he have to say because it seemed as if though he may tries to hold, I guess, certain black people accountable, or maybe his content is more in favor of white people and so forth. The black community is not really happy about that. So they're going to call him a coon, a Sambo, and all that other stuff. They do that with me. They do that with me all the time. And the thing is, I'm not for neither side. Like, I don't want no white friends and I don't want no black friends. I just like being alone. You see, I like being to myself. It has nothing to do with hate. I'm just tired of people, you know. When you get to my age, I'm 49. You know, for those of you that keep saying that I'm Brandon Tatum's nephew, Brandon Tatum is 39. I'm 49. That would make him my nephew if you want to play these little games, right? Because I'm older than him, been around longer than him, more experienced than him, right? Um, my point in saying that, guys, is this: Brandon cannot do content like the FBA community that hates white people or the pro-blacks. These particular grifters on YouTube, they primarily focus on rage bait and black people. Brandon, his content is more on the conservative type side of, well, look at me, I was able to accomplish this. I'm happy. I got a white wife. I'm doing good, you know. And in a sense, to the black community, they look at him as a grifter, a person who's trying to appease white people. And in a way, being that he has a white wife, you have to understand that his children are going to be mixed. They're going to have white mom, black dad. So it becomes a little complicated. He cannot, I guess, do content that is like he's a civil rights attorney or civil rights leader. That's not going to be his content. So of course he's going to be hated because of the position he take. Now, there's things that he do that is correct. Yes. There's things that he talk about that is very correct. There's things that he bring up that is correct. At the same time, we cannot deny the fact that um, white America, they don't see Brandon as a threat. Like, see, when you come to Ringo TV, you have to understand something about me, right? I am 100% neutral, fair, and balanced. Brandon is a content creator that the media don't have a problem bringing on air. And it's a reason, because he's safe. They know he's not going to cross the line because they know he has a white wife, possibly mixed children. So he really can't go too far to the left. He can't because of his connection. Do you understand that? So when they bring him on the air, he got to maintain a certain character in order to be accepted. He have to. It's just a part of the culture, man. Someone like me, the media would never invite on the air. Never. Because I cannot be bought. You cannot pay me to push your agenda. Because I focus on being neutral about a circumstance. D.L. Hughley, he's a grifter too. He grift by acting like he care about black issues. When D.L. Hughley was in the height of his comedy career, D.L. Hughley didn't care about nothing concerning the black community. He never spoke out about nothing. It is after his, if you want to say his retirement, that is when all of a sudden he began to speak out against stuff. And it's really just to keep himself relevant. So what he do is he grift off of things that he know other blacks will jump on. So if black people don't like Brandon Tatum, that would give D.L. Hughley a stage, similar to when he was doing comedy. So right now, his stage is grifting in order to get an audience. That's what's happening right now. So recently, there was a lot of commotion, a lot of back and forth between Hughley and Brandon Tatum. So what I want to do is I want to review a video by another grifter on YouTube. Like, all these guys are grifters. I'm pretty sure you've seen these guys, right? This guy, grifter, Hughley, grifter, Tatum, grifter. All these guys are grifters, right? I mean, this is why this guy, I think he call him, what is it? He's an urban politician or politics. I don't know what the hell this guy is, but everything is about politics, guys. And it's all about building an audience of robots. That's what social media is about. So you have the grifters, you have the NPCs, then you have intelligent people. Intelligent people, we can recognize when somebody's full of shit. We could just look at them, listen to them for a while and be like, yeah, this person's full of crap. Now, what is this guy's job? He's basically grifting to the black community by using what D.L. Hughley had to say about him. He don't care for him. He don't care for him. But what these two got in common is that they know how to hustle the black community. Because the black community is dumb as hell. They always fall for the grift. And that's how you keep the money coming in. Do you understand me? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the tape so you guys can hear it for yourself. And we'll add our commentary. So be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And again, if you don't like my commentary, if you think that, I suck at what I do, you can always unsubscribe and don't watch me no more. All right? Don't even waste your time. Go find a platform like these Grifters, go over there and support them, because I'm trying to build an audience of intelligent people that I can share my thoughts with, and we can have like a community where we can talk about these issues, and we don't have to worry about trolls. That's why my live chat is members only, right? Because I only want people that can be civilized. When I have my live chats open, guys, it gets flooded with trolls. They post an N-word all day, spam in the chat. That's not the type of environment I want when I'm trying to have conversations that are very important. I don't want a bunch of idiots in my live chat. I want intelligent people that are working class, family orientated people that understand life. I don't want to be around a bunch of idiots, right? If we were to meet up at a location, I need to know that everybody that's in attendance are civilized human beings that we can have conversations. I don't want to be around hecklers, a bunch of trolls, people that want to fight, people that want to be violent. I don't want to be around all of that toxicity, because that's one of the reasons why we try to do better in life, to provide a better life for our children. We try to move into a nice location because we really want to give our children a better start in life. A lot of people move to flex on other people. I don't do that type of stuff. I have 4 daughters that I got to raise. I don't have no time for bullshit. If that's your life, then do you. I'm 49. So at 49, I kind of look in the future and I kind of calculate how many more years I got on the earth. So when you start to do that, and you start to really reflect on your life, and you start realizing like, damn, I'm 49. By this year, that's going to be going on. So I got this amount of time to accomplish my goal. So I don't give a fuck how you feel about me. Do you understand my point? When you get there and you start to think about what's real in life, you're not going to focus all your time on petty shit, because none of that stuff means nothing. What matters is what you got to do in terms of your responsibility for you and your family. Everything else is just bullshit. That's why I don't got no time for none of the nonsense. So let's get to the content. Let's do what we got to do. Put this volume up so we could play these tapes, find out what these guys have to say. And you be the judge, because I'm going to break all this stuff down. What you're going to see is a battle, a clash between D.L. Hughley and Brandon Tatum. Right? Now, again, this guy's the instigator. Right? This is what they do on YouTube. Right? Let's play the tape.
Comedian no more, passing out on stage and stuff. You ain't even funny no more. But you going by D.L. Hughley.
Hold on.
About it. He said,
let me start it from the top. Let's hear Hughley first.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Y'all just see what unfunny ex-comedian D.L. Hughley just said about me? Posted a picture of me and my wife. To do what? To be a racist? You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
What is more lame than calling yourself the job you used to have? You're not an officer anymore. You were a football player who failed at being a football player. You didn't make the team, so you became an officer. That wasn't working out, so you became an influencer. You talked about emotion. What is more emotional than this? You cried for a white dude who the people didn't even think you worthy to speak at his funeral. You said you wouldn't cry for your son, but you cried for him. That's not emotional about how those boys are innocent. You had proof. Now, I don't know whether they're innocent or not. I don't know what happened there. But I know one conversation with a failed football player and a social media influencer is not the predicate. You don't have any toxicology report. You don't have an autopsy report. You talked about black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Mega.
Do you see how D.L. Hughley is pushing this woe is me, we're the victims, the white man, slavery? I cannot stand Negroes like him. These type of guys are the biggest grifters because it's like, if you got such a problem with Mississippi, why do black folks still live there? If you guys believe it's a racist state, why are you there? Why you keep complaining about white people all day, bro? Just talking about white people all day. That's all he care about. He never used to do this. It's once his comedian career ended, he now becomes the grifter of the black community as if though he's fighting for justice. But whenever black people get killed in the black community, in the projects, you don't see him standing up. He's another Ben Crump. Only comes out when it's time to talk about anybody that speaks against what his agenda is. So being that Brandon is not one of those victimhood blacks that worry about the white man all day. Remember, he got himself a white wife. So at the end of the day, he's not focusing on all of that stuff. He's not focusing on all the racial issues and all of that type of stuff because he already moved on. A lot of black folk, we moved on from all of that toxic poison. But people like Hughley, he want black people to continue to feel like a slave. He want you to continue thinking that the white man is out to get you, that we're all slaves, and there's just so much racism, and we got to fear white people because they just want to take us out. That's how he get paid. Now, don't get me wrong. There's white grifters too. There are white grifters on YouTube that their job is to try to appease black people, to get black people to think like slaves. They'll come on board. They'll be like, yeah, it's not right what happened to Nolan Wells. We need justice for Nolan Wells. And they're only doing that because they want to get the black vote. They want black viewers to view their platform. So everybody is grifting. Everybody have an agenda. Nobody's neutral. Nobody's focusing on the truth. They're just trying to program you long enough so they could get their check. That's the goal. Let's get back to the content. Hit the like button.
Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Medgar Evers. Right on the other. You talk to them for 2 days and now all of a sudden you know if they're guilty? You know if they're innocent? You know that? Your name is, your moniker is Officer Tatum, not Detective Tatum. You didn't make your way to detective. You're an influencer who says what white people want you to say. And don't you find it interesting that they...
I don't like when they say that, right? He said that he say what white people want him to say, right? Why do black people always do that? So what is Hughley saying? He's saying what black people want him to say. You see my point? So what's the difference? If you believe Tatum is saying what white people want him to say, then who is D.L. Hughley speaking for? He's saying what he believes black people want to hear. So he's a grifter too. So these are two grifters, right? Tatum is saying what he believes white people want him to say. And again, it is what it is. He has a white wife, and there's nothing wrong with that. If he want to have a white wife, that's his prerogative. But my point is, Tatum cannot have a white wife and be all over social media doing what black grifters do. Black grifters hate white people. You can hear it in their tone. D.L. Hughley don't like white people. He don't. He believe anybody that's white is a racist. I don't like D.L. Hughley. I don't trust Brandon Tatum. I don't trust none of these people because they all have an agenda. Hughley is not doing anything for the black community per se. He's trying to be an activist as if though he'd been on the front line trying to lead black people. And I can guarantee you his life is a mess. Tatum, he's just milking the system for as much money as he can get. Because Hughley tried to shame him by saying, oh, you're a failed football player, became an officer, now an influencer. But I can guarantee you Tatum makes more money than when he was an officer. I can guarantee you that. He don't got no regrets. He's making more money. And he don't got to deal with the bull crap that most officers have to deal with anymore. Right? But I don't trust neither of these guys because they both have their own agenda. Both of them. All right? Let me see. Shout out to Messi Machone. Appreciate you sponsoring the work. I was actually watching your video in the clouds, the recent live stream that you did. I was literally in the house cleaning up, listening to your live streams. You never know who's listening in the clouds. Anytime you're doing a live stream and you have a bunch of people in the building, trust and believe, there are people in them clouds. There's people in the clouds that are listening. I actually caught this. I'm going to do a video on it. This white woman, she's a news. I'm not sure if she's a news lady or whatever, but she got like, I'm not sure, 3 million or 6 million subscribers. This lady copied every talking point I shared on my recent video. I'm going to do a video about it. I wrote a comment under her page. I said, wow, damn, you guys can't even give me a shout out. You guys can't even say, hey, Ringo TV. Hey, you guys can't even send me a message, say, hey, we would like for you to come on the air. No, she just basically said everything that I had to say about the possibility of alcohol poisoning, drugs, he drowned, accidental, everything that I was saying, this woman said. And I'm like, they watching you. So always remember, there's always somebody in the clouds watching. Always. Shout out to Yard Promotions for the $2 support. Did I miss anybody? Did I shout out Lynn? Shout out to Lynn for the $5. I don't know if I did or not. Kimberly, shout out to you for the membership. Just making sure I keep everything up to date. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let me see. This is good stuff, my brother. I appreciate your objectivity and your ability to use discernment. You have to look at sides of the matter. Yeah, both sides of the matter, I guess. Yeah. I'm just tired of all the fake stuff that's going on, man. I understand everybody want to make a dollar. I get all of that. We're in a capitalistic society. Everybody want to win. Everybody want to eat. It's getting to the point now where everybody is lying in order to keep the engagement up. And I can't do that. I can't come on YouTube and lie to people. And if you're black and you speak the truth, you get attacked. I'm pretty sure you understand that at Messi Machone. I've seen your live. I've seen what people were doing. I know. Whenever you be objective, neutral, and just have your own thoughts that is not like everybody else, you get attacked. You get attacked. They call you a coon, a Sambo. They've done this to me for the longest. I don't care no more. I don't care no more, man. Because if you're a so-called black man, black woman, This is different for us because we got to deal with quote unquote the black community. In the black community that's on social media, it's like a mob mentality, a cult-like following, where if you don't say the things people want to hear, they don't look at you as black anymore. And if the truth be told, we don't even get along. Like, let's just keep it real. You know, you got all these black folk complaining about white people, but they stay going to their 9 to 5. I had people attacking me. You doing YouTube? You on the white man system? And I'm like, fam, I'm not the one here complaining about white people all day. I live around a bunch of white people out here, fam. I'm sure somebody's a racist. I can guarantee you there's racists around me. But guess what? There are black racists too. I got neighbors that are black and I've never spoken to them, guys. There's black people that live out in this community. I never spoke to them. They literally try their best to avoid me. And I'm like, wow. So when you think it's just white people that do that, no, man, everybody is hateful, man. But if you're black, you receive more hate from black people. Just like if you're white, you receive more hate from white people. I see white people fight, guys. Not in this community, even though I've seen an argument in this community already. I think it was between a white guy and a black woman. I seen a big argument. Actually caught it on tape too. It was spicy. Man, when I tell you it was heated, whew, first time seeing some action. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. But yeah, there's hate in all groups, not just some white racists. Everybody have their good and their bad. I just choose not to focus on being hateful all day. You know what I mean? You have a lot of white folk out in the South that are very, very nice people, guys. I've met some nice Southern white folk. Nice, good, clean people. No drama. I don't sense nothing, and I got good discernment. I could recognize when somebody's wicked as hell. And when I come around these folks, they treat me like I'm one of their family. And it's amazing because coming from New York, from the hood, you're only, it's like you're raised to be around just your people, and you're not really exposed to others. So you're taught wrong. You know what I mean? You're taught a lot of lies. And then when you finally get around other people, you start to see the truth. Not everybody is what everybody say. That's why you gotta read a book. Don't just judge it by the cover. That's how you get yourself in trouble. Now, that's not to excuse anybody that's racist. They got them out here. There's a lot of racist folks in the South. Don't make no mistake about that. But I don't care. And like Messi said on your video, right? You said, I don't care if I'm around racists. They're not going to say nothing to me. And that's true. A real racist is not going to say nothing to you. They don't just walk up to you calling you N-words. They just don't like black people. And that's okay. You have a right to not like whoever you don't want to like. It is what it is, man. I don't care. As long as you don't interfere with me and my family. You could be as hateful. You don't have to like black people. Just don't cross that line. Right? Just like I won't bother you and your family, don't bother mine. That's it. I don't care if you want to be a racist. Go ahead. That's your prerogative. You got to answer for that, not me. I just choose not to be hateful towards people. I'm cut from the cloth that says respect all people no matter what. Now, if you're an a-hole and I'm trying to be nice, good morning, how you doing, and you just ignore me, then fuck you. I'm not going to say nothing to you no more. I'm not going to be an idiot and keep trying to be nice to people that don't like me. Once you show me that you don't like me, then I'm not going to talk to you no more. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it works. If you respect me, I respect you. If I respect you and you don't respect me, then I won't have nothing to say to you no more. That's just the way it's supposed to be, man. So these people fighting each other, arguing. What are they really? What's the goal? What's the goal between D.L. Hughley and Brandon Tatum? What is the goal with them clashing? Money. Who's going to take whose audience? That's what it's all about. Right? Kimberly says, Officer Tatum does not have an agenda. His only agenda is to get to the truth for the family of Nolan Wells and his friend. I disagree. I disagree. I'm going to explain why. Why I disagree. Brandon Tatum is not trying to get to the truth. Brandon Tatum is trying to get to the money. And maybe I respect your position. At the same time, as a content creator, I understand the business of YouTube. You can't try to get to the truth for the family when he already concluded that the family are grifters. You see my point? Brandon Tatum already concluded that the family are grifters and that the family is using the race card, that they created a race issue. So Brandon is against the family, right? Now, what did Brandon do in this case? He took the side of Nolan's friends. You go to the interviews, towards the ending of each interview, Brandon asked Warren, I don't have the exact quote, but I'm kind of paraphrasing, something along the lines of, why did you choose to do the interview with me? And you know what? Let me go to it. Forget all of this playing around. Let's just go to the video, right? Let's go to the video so we can hear it for ourselves. And I'm going to prove to you that Brandon Tatum has been bought and paid for, even if it appears as if though he's speaking against certain things. Y'all got to understand how the play works. He has an agenda. And based on what I'm seeing is he's siding with those boys, which is it's premature on his part to be siding with these young men when none of the facts really came out about what's really going on. I don't trust nobody in this case because my personal opinion, Nolan Wells died via a drug overdose, alcohol poisoning, drowned, and somebody know what happened and they're just not talking. Because Warren's father, Dr. Hudson or something along them names, he put up a $50,000 reward trying to pull an Al Sharpton and Tyler Perry move, as if though he's putting out a reward for anyone that can give information that could lead to an arrest or conviction. That's a chess move of him saying, my son is innocent to the point where I'm willing to put money up to distract you into thinking that, oh, we come from a good, clean family. My son wouldn't harm nobody. At the same time, it's not really about if his son killed Nolan Wells, because even in my own research, I don't have no proof to say that any of the boys murdered Nolan Wells. I don't got that proof, so I can't accuse them of killing him. What I can do, based on the facts that these are young men underage and they're drinking alcohol. If they're drinking alcohol, ladies and gentlemen, and they are intoxicated, pissy drunk, there is a high probability of drugs being involved as well. They're already underage and they're drinking. So what else are they willing to do? You're partying, there's music going, there's girls all over. Drugs is in the atmosphere somewhere. Up to now in the media, nobody is talking about underage kids drinking. Nolan's parents haven't talked about this yet. Nobody's talking about alcohol consumption. Nobody's talking about accidental drowning, right? That's my position, that Nolan died via an accidental drowning due to drugs and or alcohol. This is why everybody's waiting for the toxicology results, the first autopsy results. And I believe that Nolan's parents are in denial about his death. They don't want to accept reality. You know, they don't want to accept the fact that this kid lost his life, right, due to an accident. And they made it a race issue and decided to blame white people for it. That is a serious problem with me, because even if Mississippi has a history from the past, you can't continue to look at the history and conclude that, well, Nolan died because some white person decided to kill him, when we don't have no facts. You got to have facts in order to substantiate all your claims. Like right now, they're blaming Bart, another kid. They said that he murdered Nolan Wells. How? He came there to help the kids with the boat. How could he come down there with his boat to tow the boat and help them sort things out on the boat? And then you're going to tell me he killed Nolan because some other crazy woman made a post claiming that she enhanced some audio and the whole internet ran with her garbage. I hope she get arrested. I really do. I hope she get arrested, and I hope that she get prosecuted in some way for tampering with evidence to manipulate audio in order to get people angry, to incite violence and rage. Because it's through that audio that everybody began to judge and condemn Bart and accuse him. And all he did is bring his boat down to tow the other boat. So how could he kill Nolan? How could Nolan be on the boat dead, right? But then Bart came down there with his boat to save the day. Which one is it? 1 minute y'all say Nolan's friends killed him. Then y'all saying Bart killed him. Who killed him? See, the truth is somebody know how Nolan died. I believe all the friends know, because all the friends were drinking, most likely smoking, using drugs, popping pills. And they know what happened to Nolan, but nobody's going to speak. So am I saying that the kids killed Nolan? No, I don't believe anybody killed Nolan. I believe these kids were just out there partying, having fun. Somebody overdosed on drugs, man. And being that this kid overdosed on drugs, the last thing they're going to do is say, let's call law enforcement and say he overdosed on drugs. Well, how did drugs get on this boat? Were y'all all using drugs? We're testing all of y'all. We're doing this. We're going to take this test, urine test, this test, all these different things. All of that could have been done on day one. When that boy went missing and that family really wanted answers and results, they were supposed to make this issue hot by talking about possible drugs, alcohol, substance abuse, and various other things. We need all those friends to be tested, everybody. But they didn't do that. So the timeline is off. That's what messed up the case. You know? Warren and the other boys were already gone before Nolan died. Warren did say that they were drinking. But see, here's the thing. You're going by the things Warren said. You get it? Nolan is dead. So just because Warren said something or his friend said something, that doesn't make it a fact. We have conflicting stories. Warren says Nolan was at the island with a girl. The girl's saying, hey, he said he's going back with his friends. Okay, which story is which? Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. And that's why I'm not taking nobody's side. Because imagine if I'm on YouTube and I'm like, all of Nolan's friends, they're innocent. They didn't do no wrong. And I'm going weeks and weeks doing this. And then it comes up that one of the friends have video. It just pops up out of nowhere. One of the friends was recording and shows Nolan in the water. And he goes under. And then the camera pan and you see all his friends on the boat. And they just sail off. It'll break the internet. Everybody that was talking about the case that sided with the boys, you'll be canceled. Your careers on YouTube is over. That's not happening to me. I'm not going to ride with nobody as if though they innocent. All I'm going to do is just look at the facts, question things. And based on this case, nobody's talking about alcohol. Nobody's talking about the fact that these kids were drinking. Remember, they're drinking and driving a boat. I want y'all to think about this. You mix alcohol and boats, accidents happen. Accidents happen. You could be on the road driving. Accidents can happen if you're not paying attention. Matter of fact, I'm going to upload a video. I almost ran over a damn dog yesterday. A damn dog. Somebody's, not a big dog. One of them little dogs? Them little, I don't even know what you call them. It's not a Yorkie. It's some other little dog with, like, it's all furry and stuff. A nice looking dog. I almost ran that damn dog over, fam. Dog in the middle of the street, just chilling. So you gotta pay attention at all times. And the thing is, the dog was all white, and I'm in the damn 45. I'm coming down, can't even see the damn thing. I slow down right away, threw on the caution so the traffic behind me can pretty much slow down, but luckily there was nobody like right behind me. And I just slowed all the way down, and then I kind of drove past the dog, and then you're gonna see, I'm gonna post the video. You'll see the dog in the front dash cam and the rear dash cam. And when I saw that, man, it's like, I'm like, damn. Somebody's nice little dog got out of the fence somewhere, because they have a lot of houses and farms out here. So I know which farm area that dog came out of, because based on the street, it looks like if the dog is trying to cross the street, because there's a farm on that side and then there's houses on that side. So I think the dog crossed the street and he's trying to get back across. Now, I cannot pull over on that road. It's not the type of road you can pull over. If you pull over, you're going to go over the ditch somewhere. So all I can do is just go past and just keep going about my business. Hopefully the dog is okay. But my point is, Nolan could have got hit by a boat. Nolan could have been in the water and a boat hit him. Everybody's drinking. You don't know what could have happened out there, guys. Let me go to this video with Tatum. Let me find this video. Let me shout out this super chat. Right? I went by the picture of the boat being towed. picture of the boat being towed. See, that's the thing. A picture. Where's the video? You know, like, not just a picture. Anybody can post a picture. The video, right? Like I said, the boat is I think it's a 22-footer boat. A lot of people don't understand what 22 feet is. A 22-footer boat is small. That's a small boat. It can only hold but a few people. You take 22 feet, guys. That's like I'm in here right now. You're looking at that wall right there, all the way to about right here. It's about 22. That's a small boat. Small. It can only hold but a few people. They wanted everybody to believe Nolan was dead on the boat. I'm telling you, the internet is evil, guys. Let me find this video because I want you guys to hear. I want you guys to hear this, right? Be sure to hit the like button. Okay. Part 3. Where's part 4? Okay. Let me look at this.
Did you kill Nolan? Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
Like, my friends haven't, and I mean, people were accusing me of murdering my best friend. It's sick. I mean,
Know that you could have taken the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm afraid for my life, and I'm just not going to put my neck out there. But I applaud you and appreciate you for stepping up, for doing what Nolan would be proud to really put your neck out there, to stand up.
my story out there because I know that's what Nolan would want me to do. And
You being a young guy, I'm much older than you, but I applaud you and appreciate you. It seems like there was a rush to judgment.
I mean, that's it.
And Warren, thank you so much, man, for being bold and courageous, for telling your story. The purpose of me doing this and flying down here is because I wanted to know for myself. I always felt that the narrative that was out there wasn't quite complete. It seems like there was a rush to judgment. And I know that you could have taken the opportunity to say, you know what, I'm not going to say anything. I'm afraid for my life. And I'm just not going to put my neck out there. But I applaud you and appreciate you for stepping up, for doing what Nolan would be proud of you doing. And that is putting the word out there and not letting the naysayers run with the narrative.
Of course.
And you being a young guy, I'm much older than you. I can take the punches.
Right.
You know, I love dishing it out. But for you as a young man to really put your neck out there, to stand up for your friends and stand up for Nolan is very honorable. And I appreciate you doing this interview with me.
Well, I appreciate you. I mean, you being here and flying down has meant a lot. And I mean, I just wanted to get my story out there because I know that's what Nolan would want me to do. And I want the truth to come out.
See, again, when you look at this interview, it appears like it's something good, but at the same time, this is bad. Because what I'm seeing is Tatum has become their attorney to try to paint them in a good light so that no one would suspect that they could have any involvement. Now, again, I'm not saying that they killed him. I'm saying that Officer Tatum didn't do a good job. For example, in the beginning, watch this. Watch this. I'm trying to find that section, but it's like, I can't find that part.
I didn't come down here, do anything other but to get the truth. Did you kill Nolan? Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death? Did you delete anything out of Nolan's phone?
You see? Did you kill Nolan? That question, that's not the right question. Asking, did you kill Nolan? That's not the correct question to ask. It's a stupid question to ask, did you kill Nolan? The real question to ask: are you and your friends covering up what happened to Nolan? Are you covering up the possibility of what happened to Nolan? Did you or your friends have any involvement with covering up what may have happened to Nolan Wells? Do you and your friends have any knowledge from any third party of what may have happened to Nolan Wells that you guys have agreed not to talk about? Those are the questions you ask. Not, did you kill Nolan? Because I don't believe any of them killed Nolan. I think these guys were all out partying, having fun. Something happened with Nolan. He ended up dead. Everybody decided we're not going to say nothing, because if we do, we're going to prison. If we say something, we're going to prison, man. So it's best that we just cooperate and stay quiet. It's best that we do that. Let me wait for this ad to go. I'm trying to find the section that I need, because I want you to hear something.
Could have possibly happened to Nolan.
You know, my buddies and I, for me, and more than anything, and the thing that's most important is what happened to him, and that I've received for just my friends and I are have been wondering.
Let's do it.
Exactly.
So I got two more things I want to address directly. It's been said out there that you guys immediately delete your social media.
Getting death threats before anything ever came out. Death threats,
that's another thing I want to talk about before I find this thing. All the Nolan friends kept saying that they've been receiving death threats. Have these kids provided any proof of that? None, right? People love using that on social media. I've been receiving hate mail, death threats, but you never see them show it. They're lying. If you're receiving death threats from anybody on social media, they could be arrested for a felony if you're receiving death threats on social media. So my thing is, if all of these kids got lawyers and they all lawyered up, why don't they show the lawyers the death threats, the social media accounts, the text messages, whatever it is they got? That way some arrests can be made. See, nobody's talking about that. I don't believe anybody when they say they're receiving death threats. They lying. They just saying that to get a rise out of people.
Stuff I couldn't even believe. 2 days after, sick to my stomach.
It's because I wanted to know for myself. I was a rush to judgment, and my neck out there. But I applaud you and appreciate you. I'm much older than you. But for you as a young man to really put your neck, I love dishing it out.
Trying to find that section.
Doing, and that is putting the word out there and not letting the naysayers. It's because I wanted to know for myself. I always felt,
just because of race, obviously I got off of social media because there were people saying insane things to me and my family, and I just couldn't sit there and look at it. I mean, that's it.
Warren, thank you so much, man, for being bold and courageous.
You could tell he cut the video right there. There was more stuff that he was saying. He edited out a lot of stuff. That's why I can't really take these interviews serious, because it's a biased interview. He already sided with these young men. And I think that's one of the reasons why D.L. Hughley and various others have a problem, is because you're not supposed to take sides when it comes to the friends. If anything, why don't he have the mother on? If Tatum is focused on justice or whatever for Nolan, why he don't have the mother on the show? You see what I mean? So It's one of them things, man, where you already took a side, so it's like that's not gonna happen. There's an agenda, guys. Why do you think after he did this interview, the father of Warren put up $50,000? Because he know that his son, right? His son being plastered all over the media is not looking good. People have a lot of things to say. So it's a chess move by saying, hey, I'm putting out 50,000. And then Tatum immediately made a video talking about why would the father go out of his way to put out 50,000 to basically send his son to jail? Why? But the thing is, people would do that. Meaning their son can have involvement. The father making that move is designed to take your thoughts off his son. But here's the problem. All of Nolan's other friends, they didn't offer up a $50,000 reward. So what about them? I don't even know if it's in this part of the video. Let me go to video part 5 with the other kid. It's definitely in that one. Let me go to video part 5. Because I can't find it in that one. Let's go to part 5.
Did you have anything to do with Nolan's death?
No.
Represented what he stood for. Instead of pursuing was that I got your back, man. You tell
No,
the
I appreciate
truth.
that.
You being a good man, doing what's right. I got your back, man. A lot of courage, putting your face out there, putting your name out there, doing what's right. I got your back, man. And I appreciate you, man. Face out there ends simply because of thank you for coming out here, man. It took a lot of courage. Any of the and talk to us, give us your point of view. And I say this like I said to Warren, man, my whole objective.
It's wild and it's heartbreaking. In 100 times. I don't know how you're discrediting and all of us. Come on. And how they're acting behind.
I appreciate that. I really do. And my last question, with all this stuff going on, and you knew Nolan very well, what do you think how Nolan would feel about how this all has transpired with Benjamin Crumb, with, the statements from his mom, with the accusations against you and his other friends? How would you think he would address this or feel about this?
Well, I know people like these would turn over in his grave. If Nolan could dig himself out of his grave right now, he would. No doubt. Nolan would be livid is an understatement. Nolan would never want anything pursued this way at all. I think he would be really upset with his parents about how they went about the situation. I think he generally would. I don't think he wouldn't support it.
See, again, I'm in total disagreement with Nolan's parents. So I understand what the kid is saying, meaning that Nolan would probably be upset with the way his parents is handling the situation. At the same time, just because this kid said that doesn't mean that he didn't see nothing and he don't know what's going on. Everybody can say all the right words when they're on camera. But when you hold in your arms like that, you're nervous. Somebody's hiding something. That's a sign of you trying to... You're nervous. That's to prevent you from shaking. He held his arms like that the whole interview. That's an uncomfortable pose, man. You don't want nobody to see your hand.
I know that for 110%. I know he wouldn't support any of it. I think he would want the truth and he would search for answers. but he wouldn't go about it like this. He wouldn't let us get dogged out like this. If Nolan could have spoke up, he would have already said something about our friend group.
Well, here's the thing. All right. See, this is where it gets interesting. He said that Nolan wouldn't let the friends get dogged out like this. Who's doing the dogging out? Who's doing the dogging out? The social media influencers. They're the ones doing the dirty work of the parents of Nolan. Because the parents of Nolan made this a race issue, right? So who's doing the dirty work? The influencers. So when Tatum do this interview, his interview is designed to get some, I guess, to throw out something out there in the algorithm to combat against all of the naysayers and everybody that's talking about these young men. Because the mother of Nolan's don't care. The stepdaddy don't care. Crump don't care. No, none of them folks, they care about money. Tatum wanted the story so he could get money. Remember, he's the only one, watch this, the only one out of every content creator. This is why when I look at Brandon Tatum, I know he has an agenda. And I know there's a possibility that he's working with somebody. Because he's the only platform that went out to Mississippi to see the location. Out of all the other platforms that got money, I'm talking about the platforms that's getting all the views, all the money. Because some of y'all like, Ringo, why don't you go travel? You paying for me to travel? Am I a millionaire? Brandon got the money to go do all of that stuff. I don't got that. So not only is this guy funded by sponsors, but he's featured on the mainstream media. When you get featured on mainstream platforms and news media, TMZ talking about you, all the big networks is talking about you, you work for somebody, man. I'm not dumb. You work for somebody.
And saying, yo, y'all are on the wrong path. Generally speaking, he would be mad. Like, he would be mad. And I don't understand how people don't see that. And how people are just okay with even some of his, I guess you could say, other best friends, man, how they were coming out. And
there's no other best friends. There's only one best friend. There's no other best friends. When you have a best friend, there's only one. Officer Tatum, or should I say Brandon Tatum, he's the one who titled these guys best friends. He put that in his video title, Nolan Wells' best friend. What makes these guys best friends? Nolan don't even have this kid on his social media. How he his best friend? Tatum is painting these men, painting them as Nolan's great friends. But when you go to Nolan's social media, you don't see this guy. You don't see the other guys. How are they your best friends? Come on, man.
and how they're acting behind it. It's like, man, Nolan was never like that. Nolan was an aggressive, threatening person. Don't get me wrong, Nolan would defend himself if he needed to defend himself. Nolan was loving and kind. Nolan was the furthest thing from a fight.
Again, he's trying to paint this thing. Nolan was this angel. He was this person. He was this. And, well, why he dead? Why he dead? I know nobody didn't kill him. They just can't say that he died by drugs or he drank too much. For all you know, guys, all these young men was having a drinking contest. How much you could drink. Think about it, man. Use your brain. Y'all acting like y'all were never young. Y'all acting like y'all never been at the bar. Y'all acting like y'all didn't take shots of different drinks. They could have been taking drinks, taking shots. Who can take the most shots? Yeah. Next minute, Nolan just passed out and died, man. Passed out and died. And everybody saw. They were like, man, if they know what happened here, we're done. We're done.
Like, furthest thing from a fight. And I remember personally, I was in a heated argument, and Nolan comes up, crack a joke, and I'm like, bro, it's not even worth it. Like, come on. And it's like, that just shows his character wouldn't be like this. I know he wouldn't want people chanting at his funeral.
Chanting?
I know that for a fact. I know nobody would want me or the rest of our friends to get dragged through like this. I know he would want all of us to feel comfortable going to that funeral.
Listen, again, I talked about all of these things, about why the friends weren't at the funeral. I was under the impression that the mom didn't allow them at the funeral, meaning she didn't invite them. That's not the case. They could have went to the funeral. They chose not to go to the funeral. He's talking about all the things that Nolan would have wanted. Nolan wouldn't want nobody dragging his friends in the media. Nolan would want you guys to tell the truth. See, he's not saying that. Nolan would want you guys not to hide what you may know. Because somebody knows something. Guys, listen to me very carefully, man. Listen. I'll make my point later on. The friends claimed that Nolan was on the island with a girl. And they kept telling him, come on, Nolan, get on the boat. Get on the boat. Get on the boat. Which boat? The boat that's sinking? Get on the boat that's sinking? Why would he do that? Why do that? Nah, I'll chill here with her, fam. I'll wait for another boat. I ain't trying to go on that sinking ship. Think about it. When the emergency call came in and the young man was talking to dispatch, he gave his coordinates, his location. The woman, I think her name is Vicky, said, you're at Horn Island. So they weren't far away, as we thought. They were right by Horn Island. And their boat was taken in water, sinking. Which means, while they were sinking, all the other boats was around. You see? May not be like right next to them, but they were in, close enough to where the island is, around the area. Right? So, the real questions is, which boat was Warren on? And which boat was the other guys on? Because it seemed like everybody left and claimed that they left Nolan behind with a girl. That right there, guys, it don't sit right with me. Because if all of you guys went down there as brothers, as boys, as friends, it is not, nah, fam. Somebody did something, man. Even if he was there with a chick, I think that's an excuse everybody's making. Because if he came back on another boat, his car is not at the docking area for him to drive, because his car was at the other friend's house, right? Remember? Based on the interview with the keys, he said Nolan didn't even take his car. So how is he going to be able to get back? How is he going to get back if his car is at somebody's house? So even if the boat even if Nolan got on another boat that came from Horn Island back to where the boats are docked and stationed, how is he getting back? He still need a ride. Katie basically said Nolan said he going back on the boat with his friends. We were under the impression that Nolan was there with a girl. Something's going on, guys. Somebody's hiding the truth. With thousands of people, somebody saw something. Come on now. Somebody saw something, man. That's why I say I don't trust nobody. I believe they were drinking, smoking, partying. Something happened to Nolan. They know what happened, but they all agree to stay quiet and just let it go. They know he died. Let it go. Because somebody would have saw something. And here's another fun fact. If Nolan stayed behind with Katie, and let's just say all his friends got on the boat and they left and they had nothing to do with Nolan, then Katie would be the main suspect. Because if Katie was with Nolan, she was the last person with him, she have all the knowledge we all need. She would have to be given a full-blown interview of every detail on what she know of the situation with Nolan. What time did Katie leave Horn Island? What boat did she go on? Who she was with? Why nobody's asking those questions? Why Tatum haven't interviewed that girl yet? Why the mainstream media didn't interview her? What's going on? How come the family of Nolan Wells is not seeking to have a meeting with Katie if she was the one that was with him? Come on, man. Like, they trying to focus this man on his white male buddies. That's who they're really trying to focus. They need the narrative to stay on the white friends that they showed in the photo, because that's what they started this mess with. So if they started it with the white friends, the three friends, and then they find out, oh, Nolan was with Katie, it messes up the narrative now. Now they got to clean up and backtrack. And now they got to answer for, well, let's say Katie did it. Let's say Katie gave Nolan some drugs. Hey, take this. Or they smoking or whatever, and she's handing him some. He OD on that damn drug. He can't deal with it. All that alcohol in the system mixed in with them drugs, he gone. And she just kind of left him there and threw him in the water with her buddies, and he dead. Somebody saw something, y'all. Y'all don't understand? Thousands of people, man. Somebody saw something. They could have been laying by where the water is, just chilling, and he just passed out. Wake up, Nolan, wake up. Nolan ain't waking up. She panicked, drag him into the water. Nobody didn't see nothing. Somebody had to see something. Somebody saw something, man. Because I'm getting tired of seeing Ben Crump's face, and I'm definitely tired of seeing that family of Nolan Wells. Every minute you see them on a news press conference, but that woman keeps saying she's grieving. She's not grieving, man. She's just playing everybody, man. She just want everybody to feel sorry and sad. You know how many people just finished dying yesterday? You know how many news stories are being overshadowed by Nolan Wells? You know how many kids are being unalive and there's no news coverage because everybody's talking about Nolan Wells? Why don't they just end the case already? Because they're dragging it on and they're not showing nobody no proof. I don't really have time to go looking for this video clip. Those of you that want that clip, just go watch my videos because I already covered it already. Where Officer Tatum basically was talking with them boys. And at the end of his interview, he asked them, why did you choose to do the interview with me? And the boys was like, because you sided with us. You're on our side. And you're giving us an opportunity to share our story. And then Officer Tatum was going on talking about, yeah, you know, that's just the way we do it over here. You know, we got to get the news out. And once I heard that, I was like, that's a bad interview. You can't interview somebody if you already sided with them, because what you're saying is they could do no wrong. You don't know these boys. You know? Tatum could be doing damage control for these boys, man, to get them off the hook. Somebody could be paying him from the top, like, yo, Tatum, we need you for another job. What you want me to do? We need you to head on over to Mississippi. We need you to do a full report. We need you to do interviews. Guys, setting up all of that stuff to take your schedule and you go out there and you doing all of this stuff, guys, you have to be funded. You need money to move around like that, you know? Especially if you got a family and other stuff. It's almost like Tatum was on a mission to make sure that these boys, their names are cleared. And again, I'm not saying the boys are guilty because I don't got no facts that they killed Nolan. What I'm saying is I'm looking at how people moving. I'm looking at how Tatum took the sides of these boys when he don't even know them. You know, he don't know these kids to be taking sides. But he took sides already. You know? He took sides, man. Yeah, I know a lot of people that died from a bad dose or just recently in May. Are you talking about that potion sauce that they're injecting people with? Nolan was on that boat. We don't have proof that Nolan was on that boat. See, that is what we're not going to do because, again, if you're going to say Nolan was on a boat, you would have to have facts that he was on a boat. If you don't have facts, don't say that. Because if that's the case, then Nolan died on the boat while they are making a distress call. Guys, it's really frustrating trying to explain this thing over and over again. I'm going to try again. Listen to me. The human brain is a computer. The brain functions in a way that is beyond our comprehension. I can make you believe you heard something even though it wasn't heard. I can make you believe you did. As a music producer, I can hit certain chords and notes on a piano, especially if I'm playing string instruments, and I can make you cry. I can make you think of a person that you love that died. I can play notes that can really trigger those things through the power of music. That's how the mind works. The woman who claims she's an audio engineer, who took the distress call and says she's isolating audio. She never isolated anything. I explained to you guys exactly what she did. She didn't use no techniques. She didn't do this or that. None of that stuff. The original YouTube platform that have the audio file was recorded in stereo. Those of you who know anything about 911 calls, dispatch calls with different emergency hotlines and all of that, they normally record it on a multi-channel system. The purpose of that is so that if someone's calling in and they're doing investigations, they can isolate each voice so they can hear it, so they can evaluate what's being said. You had people that made 911 calls, and while they're on the phone, given a description, location of where they at, they get killed while they're on the phone. So now that call goes to the investigators. They don't want it overshadowed and muffled with the dispatcher talking to them, where you can't hear nothing. So these calls are normally recorded in stereo. The call that was made with those boys and Vicky, the woman that was on the phone with them, was recorded in stereo. All that black woman did when she isolated the call is she took the right channel, which is the channel where the boys were on, and she muted the left channel. That's it. Once you do that on your mixer or your DAW, Logic, whatever software you're using, even if you're using video software, you place it in mono. Now in mono, the sound would come from the left and the right speaker because it's dead center. So she never really did any work. Once you do that, all you got to do is increase the volume and listen carefully. All this stuff about enhancing voices to hear what's being said in the background is tampering with evidence. What this woman did is she added text to what she thought she heard. And she put it on the screen. So as you're listening to the audio, you see the text messages. But then she's going to tell you, listen to the audio and let me know what you hear while you're seeing text on the screen. Your brain processes information in a way that is it's very powerful. Being that she had text on the screen already, your brain, while listening to it, will hear what you're reading on that screen. Your brain will make you believe it's there, but it's not. If you listen to that tape, that audio with no words on the screen, you don't hear none of that stuff. But if you see text, your mind will hear it. Oh, I heard it too. Yeah, I heard it too. Okay, you believe you heard somebody said, Nolan, you're dead? Nolan, is he dead? So when you listening to all of that stuff, it'll sound like everybody on the boat killed Nolan, right? Why would they be calling for help? Help. If Nolan is dead on a boat. Why would they do that? And why is everybody blaming Bart when Bart is the one who came out there to tow the boat? Yeah, she's programming you. That's what she did. It's called witchcraft, guys. Witchcraft. It's a form of witchcraft because she's programming the minds of people. And now the whole internet is running with that lie. It's disgusting. I hope she get arrested for it. That's tampering with evidence. She tampered with the tape. And she's inciting violence and riots because it's designed to make people angry. Like, wow, they really covered it up. Look, wow, they calling for Nolan. They said, is he really dead? Check his chest. I'm like, nah, none of that was said. These are all lies. Lies. How come Nolan's mom is not talking about it? How come the stepdad not talking about it? How come Crump not talking about it? Nobody's taking that serious because it's not. You know? If audio is bad, you can't make it good. Bad audio cannot be mixed into something good. Any audio engineer that produced music, you know what I'm talking about. You need a good mix to be able to work with. If it's bad from the start, I cannot make this sound better when it's trash. If you mix your song horrible and you give it in for mastering and all of that other stuff, and it's a horrible mix, only a greedy mastering shop would take your song and try to master it. A real mastering house, they'll be like, look, you need to mix this thing. This thing needs to be remixed, man. This is not going to be good. I don't want to lie. You know? So she brainwashed everybody. And she did it in order to make money to promote her own audio business that she got. And everybody was crowning her as a hero. She solved the case. She ain't solved nothing. All she gonna do is end up getting sued. And I hope that Bart sue the woman who made that enhanced audio, which was not enhanced. I proved this on live. Go watch my videos. I made 2 videos about it. The first video, I was just sharing my commentary and a little bit of stuff she said. The second video, I proved to you how she did what she did, and I proved that there is nothing on that audio that suggests Nolan was on some boat dead. Nah. It's not the case, guys. You would not be calling for help when you have a dead body on the boat. Everybody would have been panicking way more. If Nolan was dead on a boat, that's a very calm phone call. Them people would have been losing their mind. They would have been losing their mind. You ever seen a dead person before? I don't know anybody that's calm, cool, collected when somebody's dead, fam. Girls would have been screaming. Dudes would have been panicking. Bro, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? He dead. What are we going to do? Get off the phone, bro. We got to get up. And remember, the boat is sinking. So you want us to believe that a boat is sinking, but the occupants of the boat are worried about Nolan. That woman who made that is biased, guys. Can't you see? They're biased. That's why they put that out there. It's like I got so into this thing, I got off the damn topic with this situation. Let me get back to that, fam. With DL Hughley. Let me go back to it. This is crazy.
All of us did it because we're scared. And that's...
Let me get back to that. I'm going to play it back from the top, guys, so that we don't get lost.
This is Brandon Tatum.
Did y'all just see what unfunny ex-comedian D.L. Hughley just said about me? Posted a picture of me and my wife. To do what? To be a racist? You are the lamest dude in all of comedy.
What is more lame than calling yourself the job you used to have? You're not an officer anymore. You were a football player who failed at being a football player. You didn't make the team, so you became an officer. That wasn't working out, so you became an influencer. You talked about emotion. What is more emotional than this? You cried for a white dude who the people didn't even think you worthy to speak at his funeral. You said you wouldn't cry for your son, but you cried for him. That's not emotional. About how those boys are innocent. You had proof. Now, I don't know whether they're innocent or not. I don't know what happened there. But I know one conversation with a failed football player and a social media influencer is not the predicate. You don't have any toxicology report. You don't have an autopsy report. You talked about black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state.
See, up to that point, D.L. Hughley was making sense. In other words, Tatum just can't say the boys are innocent, right, when you don't have these test results. But where Hughley messed up is he started labeling Mississippi like it's just a racist state, and that's where he just messed up, and he turned it into a race issue again, right? Let's rewind it back.
Black people acting a fool. Black people are right to be suspicious of a state.
Why should black people be suspicious when Nolan Wells is not black? See, that's where y'all got met. Yeah, that's where everybody lost it, man. Nolan Wells is Filipino. His mother is Filipino. That man plastered all over the news with Christine is his stepdaddy, guys. That's the stepdaddy. Listen, the stepdaddy. Do you know what stepdaddy mean? He's not the biological father. Y'all calling this kid black. He's Filipino. But because D.L. Hughley is a grifter and he know black people gonna ride with Nolan, that's why he jumped on board and says, we as black people should be concerned because Mississippi is this and Mississippi is that. Guys, I don't care about what Mississippi is, fam. I don't got no time for all this race nonsense, man. Everybody made this kid to be black now. And now black people are so invested. But yet, when the black community going through things, is the Filipino community coming to the rescue for you guys? No.
Black people are right to be suspicious of a state that took 31 years and 3 trials to prosecute and find guilty the murder of Medgar Evers.
You worried about Medgar Evers and all these other different people. Guys, we are in 2026. 2026. And we talking about stuff that is old. Y'all still talking about Emmett Till. You folks just don't know how to move on, bro. Talk about your kids. Talk about the fact that your kid is out there living foul. Talk about that. Talk about the things that are happening today. No, we want to stay in the past. We want to have a victim mentality forever and ever and ever. I'm tired of this mess, man.
You talk to them for 2 days and now all of a sudden you know if they're guilty. You know if they're innocent. You know that. Your name is, your moniker is Officer Tatum, not Detective Tatum. You didn't make your way to detective. You're an influencer who says what white people want you to say. And don't you find it interesting that they chose to speak to you, and they chose to speak to you for the same reason that you're a conservative, for the same reason Turning Point did, because you're safe. They know.
I agree with that. I agree. Again, I'm neutral. When something is said that makes sense, I'm going to agree. It's because he's safe. Remember, I just told you I was looking for a clip where Brandon asked the boys why they did the interview with him. And the boys basically said, because you side with us. So it's safe. It's safe to come on your show. Because we know you're not going to say nothing to make us look like we have any involvement. That's why Tatum get invited on various platforms that are large platforms that are ran by white people, because they know he's not going to say anything out of pocket, because they know it's safe to bring him on. You bring me on, you're going to have to edit your video. Matter of fact, you won't even invite me on, because the last thing they want to hear is the truth.
You're a black man who'll do what he's told.
First of all, D.L. Hughley is not on my level. One point in time, D.L. Hughley used to be the man. At one point in time, I used to like D.L. Hughley, and I thought he was funny. Now, he was not even the top 5 in the Kings of Comedy, in my opinion. But I thought I respected his game. Just to grow up and realize D.L. Hughley is a simp, and he's a beta. And
I really don't understand why he calling him a simp. Wrong word. That's the wrong word to use to call him a simp. Let me give you the definition of a simp, right? Because it's like he's using these talking points from what men used to speak on back in the day on social media in regards to men being simps. A simp basically is a man who reaches out to a woman because he likes her, The woman don't like him. She basically rejects him. So what he do, in order to get female attention, female validation, he keeps pursuing said woman, offer her gifts, offer to take her out to dinner. He will speak highly of her, even though she don't even care about him. She rejects him. Don't even give him the time of day. He will defend her when others talk about her. That's a simp. He keeps pursuing a woman that don't want him, but tries to treat her nice, hoping that she will change her mind. Do you understand? So calling DL a simp, wrong choice of words, because it makes no sense. You see what I'm saying? Let's get back to the content. Hit the like button.
He's a crybaby, allegedly worth $10 million, but he's still crying about the white man every day. And he crying about the white man, yet he worked for white men companies. He's so black that he don't even care about black women enough to not cheat on his wife. He posted a picture of my wife. At least I ain't cheating on my wife.
Now we're going to have the back and forth about wives and who's cheating. Don't let it come out, Tatum, that you've been getting some side vagina. Because we all know that even though you married to the white woman, we know somewhere along the line, somewhere on the side somewhere, you done tapped some ASS somewhere else. We know. You're not fooling us men. We're not dumb. So, talking about what he did with some other woman, I don't even know why we're even talking about that if y'all supposed to be talking about Nolan Wells. So, it's just getting petty and stupid.
He cheated on his wife, got an outside baby. And a very unfortunate situation happened with his outside baby. And he want to come at me when he wasn't even there to protect his children. Then his young daughter gets into a sexual situation with a minor, where they both were minors. And she came to her dad in confidence, her black father, in confidence, and said she was being abused and he didn't believe her.
Again, like, what does, even if that's true or not, my thing is, what does that have to do with Nolan Wells? Because now it's like getting personal now.
Brother, why are you talking about me? Why are you talking about me? You need to be worried about your own household. All the drama I just mentioned with his inner family ain't now one of the suspects in that situation white. A white man didn't cheat on your wife. A white man didn't abuse your daughter. And a white man didn't take the life of your infant child whom you had out of wedlock while you were married.
That's as low as it gets right there. That was a low blow. That was low. It's almost like he mocked the fact that, I don't know. I don't even know none of this stuff. But it appears as if though DL Hughley lost a child. Let me see if I can look it up. See if we can find some info. Because we don't just want to run with what Tatum is saying. So let's see if DL actually lost a child due to some sort of issue. Let's see. Let's look this up. Hit the like button. Comedian DL Hughley shares a deeply personal and tragic story about losing an infant son early in his career. And while newly married, he secretly fathered a baby boy with another woman and provided financial support. The infant tragically died after suffering severe brain damage from being shaken by the mother's boyfriend. Hughley kept the painful secret from his wife for years before finally confessing, and she responded with compassion rather than anger. Well, at least she responded with compassion Where's the compassion in Tatum for bringing that up? That's dirty work right there, fam. That's nasty what you did right there, man. Because even if I see DL as a grifter, I think that it is disgusting that you would bring up an infant baby. And it's almost like you blamed it on black people, like to say, ha ha, your baby is dead. Another black person killed your kid. It wasn't the white man. That's nasty. And that's what Tatum did. It's one thing if you're going to talk about DL Hughley himself, but you're talking about dead children. That's sick, man. That is absolutely sick. You know? Hey, he had a secret relationship. It is what it is, man. He a man. But you went, that was a low blow. That's why I had to go look it up, because I never heard of that before. I had to go look it up for myself to see what the commotion is about, you know? But that right there is not cool what he did. Especially the child's dead. That's not cool. Let's get back to the tape. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel.
These are all black people doing this.
You see that? He said it's all black people doing it. At Tatum, it's one thing if you want to make your point about black people doing things. I think that you throwing that in that man's face is fucked up, man. Like, for real, for real. And people still rock with you after you did that. The baby, it's a baby, bro. A baby. The baby was shaken, had issues, died, whatever. Why you bring that up? That's not cool, man. Do y'all think that's cool? What he did, what he said? That's not cool.
And D.L. Hughley, that's your stage name. You still going by your stage name, Negro. You ain't even a comedian no more, passing out on stage and stuff. You ain't even funny no more.
I think that's another low blow. See, this is why I don't rock with Officer Tatum, because I think the dude is an asshole. When Hughley passed out on stage, it was due to the injection. You understand? Something with that C word, and he passed out and possibly could have died. That's not nothing to laugh at. That's nothing to mock him and say, oh, you passed out on stage. Bro, the dude could have died. Now, I don't rock with DL Hughley. I don't. I think he's a grifter. But I'm listening to your rebuttal versus what he had to say. The only issue I have with what Hughley said, if I'm being fair and balanced, is all that Mississippi talk. I'm not with all of that Mississippi, the racist. I don't got time for all that. But everything else he had to say about, the reason why they let you on the TV to talk with white people is because it's safe, and the fact that you're defending Nolan's friends when you don't even know them, and you're basically saying they're innocent when no facts didn't come in yet. That's crazy. It's like you're being paid to make these young men out to be innocent. You're doing damage control for them. So in that regard, Hughley is right. Even though I don't rock with him, I'm neutral. Do you understand? I'm judging this thing right down the middle. But what you doing, Tatum, you mocked his son that died. You mocking Hughley for passing out on stage. Watch this, gang. Let me go pull it up. Because before I do my content, I go do all the research. Gang. Let me see if I can pull this up. I go do all the research because I want to find out what happened, And I know I think I have it in my history. Let me see. Let me go check. DL Hughley passes out. I think I have it in my history somewhere because I looked it up because I wanted to understand what Tatum is doing. You know, like why would he do that? So DL Hughley pass out. Okay. Let's look at this. Let me let this ad go by first. Then we're going to take a look at this. All right.
Yeah. This is my Mexican security guard. You're gonna miss it when Trump takes him away. We've been in quarantine so long, remember, when we came back, remember everyone wanted to get rid of Mexicans, they call it, they were immigrants. I got you.
See that?
Everybody just stay calm. We got it all under control here, y'all. Thank y'all so much. We're gonna get things done.
See that? That is what Brandon Tatum is laughing at. That's not funny. That's why I'm calling this type of stuff out, because and he's supposed to be a Christian man. He's supposed to be a God-fearing man, but he's laughing at the death of his son and laughing at him passing out on stage, even though I don't agree with DL Hughley. Look at how I'm able to judge right down the middle, right from wrong. Did y'all find something funny in that? There was nothing funny in that. Because if you look up the news interview that he did, that's probably what I was looking at. In the news interview, Hughley was talking about what happened, with that situation. So I'm kind of surprised that Tatum mocking him over that. That's nothing to laugh at. If anything, you should be thankful that the man is alive still, but that's nothing to laugh at. That the man passes out on stage. That's crazy.
Take the life of your infant child whom you had out of wedlock while you were married. These are all black people doing this.
That's messed up what he did.
And D.L. Hughley, that's your stage name. You still going by your stage name, Negro. You ain't even a comedian no more, passing out on stage and stuff. You ain't even funny no more. But you going by D.L. Hughley.
Talked about it.
He said, I didn't make the team, or I didn't make it to the NFL. Okay, I don't think that's anything somebody can be sad about. And I'm also glad I don't have CTE either, so it's not all bad. You would never make it to. You won't even make it to college. You were in high school. Little beta male talking about it.
And he's laughing at the same time, fam. He's laughing at the same time. Let me look something up real quick. Da 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 da. Okay. I was just looking at what CTE is. I don't like when I'm listening to something and somebody's saying something and I don't know what the hell they're talking about. But that have to deal with a rare degenerative brain disease caused by repeated head injuries and a buildup of abnormal tau protein. It is most common in contact sport athletes, military veterans, and it can only be definitively diagnosed after death. So I guess maybe that might be something that can can happen if you're in football. I guess, you know, stuff like that. Maybe that's probably what he's talking about. In other words, since he didn't go to the NFL, he don't have to worry about that. So maybe a lot of NFL players deals with those type of issues. So I just wanted to find out more about it. But let me get back to the tape. Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new.
Then I became a cop. What did I do as a cop? I protected black people with my life. D.L. Hughley is telling jokes. Oh, yo, it's Big Ant the smoke.
I don't want to hear anything else from this guy. This guy's a joke. Yeah. So let me see what else I got. Let me go back, find more content. Here's another video. This other guy, he appeared to be mad at Tatum. But let's kind of hear what he got to say to see if he's making any valid points or he's just mad because Tatum is not on the victim train. Let's see.
What's good? So, Officer Ruckus Tatum got up in front of Nancy Grace. I guess he thought it'd be his big, moment in the spotlight. All eyes on me. Yeah, made himself look like a goddamn fool. Brought his best tap dance shoes. Had them all polished up. Spit shined them. Thought you was gonna get up there and tap dance, for your white buddies. They must have paid this dude. I guess he's their version of Ben Crump. You're supposed to be objective. You certainly aren't an investigator. I know he used to be a cop. Some of these black cops, man, in my experience, some of them are worse than the white racist cops. You riding around salivating, looking for, some black folks to hem up, put a case on, maybe plant some dope on them, something like that, Maybe even turn the other way while they get murked by his white counterparts. You never know with these types, They so desperate to ingratiate themselves to the white community. And I'm all for calling out.
See, again, when you listen to this guy, right, he had those same type of talking points. Like, in other words, you're doing this for the white community. You're doing this for white people. Like, we got to stop making it seem like if anybody is black, that they're doing whatever they're doing for the white community. I don't think that Tatum is doing what he's doing for the white community. I think Tatum is doing what he's doing because he's trying to make money. Do you understand that? He's trying to make money and whatnot. But we got to also look at what's his agenda. His agenda is not to help the white community. His agenda is focusing on what he's doing. He wants black people to believe that he's focusing on black people. But if you really think about it, a lot of these influencers or people that make videos, they got their own purpose in mind of what they're trying to do.
All for accountability in our community. I address certain issues on my channel, but this is different. We know the difference. Running with the same narratives like the Anton Daniels, but you got up there and made yourself look like a damn clown. A clown wearing a coon cap. But he's saying that in regard to Nolan Wells' inactivity on social media, wouldn't that be odd? Now he said that Nolan's so-called friends, they show him videos and photos of them on that day. And, to push the narrative that Nolan wasn't with them on that boat at the time, because Nolan isn't in any of the videos that they provided. And we don't know when the videos were actually, made. And Nancy Grace crossed him up like, well, why are y'all saying, because in the same breath, Ruckus says that, Brandon, he says that, the reason why Nolan, his phone is clean, you can't get reception out there. So even if you took a photo, but if you take a photo or you do a video, it may not upload immediately if you don't have enough reception, but it will be buffering. Y'all know at some point, it will upload, maybe hours later. Once you get inland, you get reception, But he says that, that's not uncommon, that it will be nothing on his phone because there's no reception. And she's like, well, how come these dudes have videos? They have photos,
Is this guy slow? You don't need internet to take a video or make a phone you don't need internet or cellular data to record a video on your cell phone. You could just do that. Anybody could take a picture. I don't see what's his point. Also, it depends on your cellular service. On Horn Island, the signal can be 0. That doesn't mean that everybody that have a phone can't possibly make a call. Because remember, the boys were able to make an emergency call to let them know about that boat. Remember? So they had some sort of signal. Right? If you go look it up right now on Google, I can prove that to you right now. Watch. Because the problem that we got, guys, is that people are NPCs and nobody looks nothing up anymore. They just watch social media and listen to lies all day. They don't know how to use a computer by just simply using a computer. Simple. Let me go do this real quick. Can I make a horn? Wait. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I had made a mistake and I said I did a typo. Can I made a phone call from Horn Island in Mississippi? It's supposed to be make, but it answered me because obviously it knows what I'm trying to say. And it says making a reliable phone call from Horn Island is difficult and spotty because the remote barrier island has little to no official cell service, while a weak signal or a stray bar might occasionally let a call squeak through near the shoreline. You cannot depend on it for communication or emergencies. You see that? Cell service reality. Extremely spotty. Coverage is weak, highly unreliable, and varies heavy dependent on your carrier and exact spot on the island. So, Is Tatum wrong if he said that the people can't really use the phones and this? No, he's not. He's not wrong in that regard. But it's not like they were on the island. They were in the water sinking near the island. So they're off from the island, more in the water area, not necessarily on the island. You get what I mean? So the call was able to go through. Are you getting it? The call was able to go through, and you were able to hear him and Vicky on the phone. Because that's more proof that they were away from the island. Near the island, around Horn Island, yes, but not on the island, or else the call would have never go through. And it also depends on your cellular, your service provider. You know? That's what it depends on. And a lot of people don't understand that. So what that guy's saying really makes no sense, because you don't need cell phone service to shoot a regular video on your phone. You don't. Right? So let me get back to the video.
You know, you get the stuttering and shit. But it seems to me he's an advocate for these dudes, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, their version of Ben Crump.
I mean, I agree with him. Again, I don't got no dog in this fight. All I do is react to the content, break it down, fair and balanced. Is Tatum an advocate for them boys? Yes. So what he said is true. That's true. Tatum is fighting for the boys, in a sense, by saying basically they could do no wrong. And I think that that's wrong to do, because we don't have all the evidence. Am I blaming the boys? No, I'm not. What I'm saying is you cannot make it look like they're innocent when you don't even know all the facts. Can't do that.
Yeah, they gave him a nice check. They ain't want to talk to nobody else. We gotta call up Brandon Tatum.
That's the same thing I was saying. Now, I'm not one of them guys that walk around calling people coons and sambos. I don't do all of that stuff. They call me that, guys. I don't treat people like that. But I do believe that Brandon got paid. I believe he got paid. I believe he got paid, fam. Because they can count on Brandon to do the job. You don't side with these boys just like that. He's working for somebody. Somebody know, hey, if we can call Brandon Tatum, we can get them to do the right thing. Now, his coverage of the Carmelo case, I agree with everything with that, because I was 100% against Carmelo. Carmelo's a killer. He killed Austin Metcalf. He deserved to be in prison. I was not one of them people defending Carmelo Anthony. Nope. Carmelo was guilty to me from the start. In the case with Nolan Wells, I don't like the fact that Tatum side with the friends and don't even know these kids from nowhere.
But she crossed him up, man. And then
I didn't see that video
he
yet.
goes up there and says they told him. As if, you know, just the fact that they told him, you know, we should just go by their word. But they told him that they took lie detector tests. And she's, oh yeah. He had to backtrack, though. He had to reel that in. He said, yeah, not a real, not a traditional, lie detector. It was, the voice stress test. Same thing, though. It's not on record,
Guys, let me give you the game. When it comes to social media, fam, I've been doing this long enough to know people will only ride with you as long as you're saying all the things they want to hear. Once you say something that deviate from what they want to hear, they will switch up on you, whether white or black. If I'm talking about black issues and black people don't like it, they will switch up. If I have white viewers that like my commentary, but then I say things that kind of go against what they enjoyed, they'll switch up. That's the world we live in. You can't please people. That's why I just choose to be me, and I don't care what you think. Do what you want to do, because people are never grounded. They're tossed to and fro. When it comes to the Nolan Wells case, I don't agree with his friends, and I don't agree with Nolan's family, because everybody's trying to cover themselves. Nolan's family is after money. The friends is trying to cover their ass. I'm not blaming them. I don't have no proof they committed a crime. At the same time, the interviews that they're doing with Tatum is raising more questions than answers. It's showing things that now you want to know more. Now you want to look into it now. Now you want to see what was on your phone. You know, if them boys would have just do what officers always tell you when they read your Miranda rights, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. So if them boys are innocent and they know they didn't do nothing and they're not on trial, they never been arrested, there's no need to do interviews. There's no need to. Just stay quiet. Brandon wanted to do them interviews because he want money. You know how much money he make from them interviews? Whew. Man, look at the views that he got, guys. Look at the views that he got. Do you know how much money he's making off each interview? Each interview he probably bringing in $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per interview, guys. Did Brandon tell you how much money he makes a month on YouTube? That man probably make more than $100,000 every month. That money is nothing for him to travel. Y'all talking about, oh, he traveled to Mississippi. It cost him this. Bro, that dude is bringing in bank on YouTube. I understand the business of YouTube. Each of those videos he did, just the interviews alone that he did with Nolan Wells earned him more than $20,000. Just the interviews he did with the boys. We're not talking about all the videos. Just the interviews he did with Nolan, with Nolan's friends. Part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the release of the full videos. Just those 6 videos earned him $20,000 or more. Go ask him. More than $20,000. Guaranteed. I already know how the business of YouTube works. He got millions of subscribers, ad revenue, sponsorships. Those videos are getting clicked, click. The watch time hours are probably crazy. Everybody's doing reaction videos to his videos. You know what that brings? Money. But people worried about me. Ringo's getting paid doing Nolan Wells commentary. Really? I'm getting paid? 5,000 views? 10,000 views? I'm getting paid? Really? Wow. Show me a Nolan Wells video that I did that got 100,000 views. I'll wait. Where are those views? Because I don't got them. So exactly what am I getting paid? Pennies. That's it. I'm not getting paid enough to go buy a car for all the pocket watchers out there that worry about me all day. It's interesting how people will make videos worrying about what I get paid. They don't make no videos about what Brandon Tatum get paid. They don't make no videos about Nancy Gray. They don't make no videos about nobody else. It's all about me. It's because they don't want me to eat. They want me to die. A lot of YouTubers, they watch me so much, they want me to fail. Some of them been waiting for me to fail for months. They be like, okay, Ringo's, he's going through something. I'm waiting for him to die. I'm waiting for him to fail, but I'm still here. I'm still surviving, guys. And they're wondering how. It's sick, man. And it's only black folk that do this, not the white folk. Only black people do that. Let me make that very publicly clear. The people that are waiting for me to fall, the people that are waiting for me to die, the people that are watching everything about me and they're always wondering what I make, predominantly black people. Only black people do that. I don't got those issues with nobody else. They're always worrying about what I make. It's sick. Can't stand it. And all I'm doing is just speaking the truth. That's it.
So it's like, damn, they should hire you as their own personal attorney.
Right, they should.
But yeah, I know his types.
Now, again, I don't follow this dude's belief system. But didn't I tell you in my videos that it's as if Brandon Tatum became those boys' attorney? I told you. Because that's how it looks. It looks like he's their attorney and he's speaking for them to do damage control so that they can be cleared.
You know, like I said, some of them black cops, they worse than the white cops. They extra, you know, because they got to prove, you know, to white America that they one of the good Negroes. I was a good Negro, you know. But made yourself look like a damn fool. But I don't think he really care. You know, it's like all he care about is getting a spotlight.
No, what he care about is the money, just like Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace, all of these people that you see on social media, it's not about spotlights, it's about making money. Bottom line is money. Always remember that. The story with Nolan Wells is making everybody make money. Do you understand? That's what it's all about with these influencers. It's the money side. Because there is no facts. There's nothing out here. Nobody don't know what happened. It just keeps dragging on. The kid died by an accident. Let's just call it a day, wrap it up. Let's move on. But no. Let's keep blaming white people is what black folk are doing. Mainly Nolan's parents. Nolan's parents keep blaming white people for their son's death, even though their son was drinking and underage.
And of course, getting a scratch behind the ear, you know, a pat on the head from white America. Go through the comment section. I've only listened to this dude one time. It only took me to run across one video to know what he was all about. Same with Anton Daniels.
So it's very clear he don't like Anton, he don't like Tatum, and yeah, we already know what his position is.
A 5 minute, 10 minutes into the vid, you already know what type of time they on. Smutting up the black community. And like I said, I'm all for accountability.
No, you're not.
In our community.
No, you're not.
You know what issues plague our community? You know, just like I have people that will jump on the channel and say, well, why are y'all so outraged about Nolan? Well, shouldn't y'all be more worried about black on black crime? Look at Chicago. Why aren't y'all protesting in Chicago about all the black on black crime? You see how they like to change the narrative.
No, it's not about changing the narrative. That's where I draw the line with these people that they act like they're outraged, but when you bring up black on black crime, they don't like when you talk about that because now they gotta eat that. You know what I mean? Because this guy, I can guarantee you, he talks a lot probably about white folk and, you know, white supremacy and all that garbage. But you probably never hear him addressing black on black crime because he don't care. According to him, that's normal for black people to do. Kill one another. So if Tatum speak out against black people doing crazy stuff, that's going to infuriate the pro-blacks. They're going to be upset about that, you know? But there's a valid point to be made. What about black on black crime? Y'all so invested in Nolan Wells. Y'all always worrying about white people. Why black folk is not focused on black on black crime issues? Why not? She's Creative says, why would you go to an island or anywhere there is little to no reception in the event there is an emergency? Well, like I said, it's not that, look, it's not about why would you go to an island. There's places in North Carolina that has very poor signal. And it all depends on your phone carrier, like who's your provider. So it's not about, oh, let me go here, I don't got no service. First of all, I think everybody needs to pay attention, right? I'm going to say something. Now, most white folk that are boaters, you know the answer before I even begin. You know the answer, right? Do you know what I'm going to say? See, if you was a channel member, you'll be able to come into the comments and educate people in the chat. If you are on a boat, you're supposed to have a particular radio that will allow you to make calls, right? Rather than using your cell phone. To all my boaters out there, all the sailors out there, am I right? You're not really using your cell phone. You're supposed to use a particular radio in order to reach or make emergency calls. That's why if you listen to the distress call that was made with the young boys, Vicky asked him, do you have, and she gave it a name of a particular device that you're supposed to use to make said calls. Why? Because the calls is breaking up. So when you go to these islands and you're on a boat, everybody that's on a boat, proper protocol, safety, standard procedures, all this other stuff, you should have this equipment in case of an emergency. Because you could be at sea and your cell phone don't work. Battery dead, cell phone dead, loss of signal. But if you have the proper equipment, you'll be able to reach, the authorities, Coast Guard, whoever is in charge of these emergency systems. I don't own no boat, so I'm not trying to act like I'm a know-it-all. My point is, I'm trying to educate the community to think. This is not about like how you live in the States or in the country where you can just get on your cell phone and call whoever you need to call. When you're on a boat, right, there's a certain radio you use to call for help. So even if your phone don't work, your radio will always get the signal to get the help you need. All right? A little bit more, and I'll close out. Shout out to everybody joining the show. Top of the morning, 6:28 a.m. If you're getting up to get ready to go to work, have a blessed day. Drive safe. Got about a few more minutes.
Well, what about all the mass shootings? So if if a young child gets killed under nefarious circumstances, shit. But what about all the mass shootings? They are overwhelmingly committed by white folks.
Do you see how he's deflecting? When people bring up black on black crime, the first thing he bring up is mass shootings. As if mass shootings are happening every day. As if mass shootings are happening every single day. Whereas in the black community, crime is happening all the time. He don't want to deal with accountability of black on black crime, so he deflect and focus on mass shootings.
You know what I'm saying? So what the hell does black on black crime have to do with this case?
It has a lot to do.
But that's what they do. And you will have people like Brandon, Ruckus Tatum, in the forefront, pushing those narratives. Well, I don't know why black folks is so, there's only one Negro. So by that line of logic, since, the black on black crime rate is so high, let them tell it, that actually it has decreased in 2026, the last couple of years, but woo-woo.
No, it didn't.
Since we kill each other so much, it's okay if white people kill us too then. We shouldn't complain.
No, it's not about if you should complain. If you know blacks are killing each other, why are you going so hard in this Nolan Wells situation when, number one, he's not even a so-called African-American, he's Filipino, and you're worried about him, and you're worried about Tatum's thoughts on the case and anybody else's thoughts on the case, but you're not focusing on blacks killing blacks every day. You're not solving those problems, but you're here trying to solve this because you believe white people did something. That's the issue. And that's the hypocrisy that I see when it comes to this type of stuff. Black people are invested in this because it was done in Mississippi and Nolan has white friends. You would not be doing this if Nolan's mother didn't put out the photo with his white friends. She's the one who made it a race issue from the beginning. She wanted black people to get angry. She wanted black folk to target white people and blame white people because Nolan Friends is white. She did that.
If one of our kids don't come home and it happened to have been a white supremacist that killed him,
see,
or a white racist,
white supremacists, they always do that.
Because black on black crime. Boy, I tell you, man. Yeah, but you got up there and made yourself look like a damn fool. Shout out to Nancy Grace, for using her platform to shine a spotlight on this case. And I won't say she doesn't have her own self-serving motives, but regardless, it's appreciated, because when Nancy Grace get on some shit, white folks listen.
Do you see what he's doing? He don't really like white people, but he shouts out Nancy Grace because Nancy Grace is saying the things that he want to hear. Didn't I just tell you that? On social media, guys, if you want to be successful on social media in terms of making money and building a community that generates a lot of money, you got to kiss everybody's ass. You got to kiss white ass, black ass. You got to kiss everybody's behind. By doing what? Saying the things they want you to say. That's how you do it. He shouts out Nancy Grace, not because he likes white people, but because she's doing the work of speaking against Brandon Tatum. So he likes that. He's like, yes, she's speaking our language. But he know that that very same woman works with the powers that be.
Have Al Sharpton. You can raise MLK and Malcolm from the dead and have them out here, standing on.
I'm going to react to some of Nancy Grace's videos. I don't even know nothing about that lady other than she's a grifter too. She's grifting from the black community right now. And you're right. I seen a clip of the video with her showing that same audio with the text on the screen. Disgusting. I can't believe that these people are running with these lies all over social media, man. And the viewer just buys it up. So of course she's doing that to get black viewers to view her content. Again, everything is dramatic with Nancy Grace. From the way she looks in the camera, from her facial expressions, it's all acting at this point to get a rise out of the people. That's what it's all for, guys.
And they wouldn't care. You know, but when you got one of their own, especially somebody like Nancy Grace with the platform that she has, all white folks gonna tune in. If she say something ain't right about it, you know, something ain't right about it. Still not invited to no cookouts, though. You know, much appreciated. No, you can't come to the cookout. And needless to say,
Nancy Grace be too dramatic when she's talking. Too dramatic. Like, she do it to really keep you engaged in the content. I'm going to have to react to some of her videos, too, to expose what she's doing. Because she's grifting, too. She flip-flop on both sides. White side, then she flip-flops on the black side. I know what she's doing. It's all for the almighty dollar.
Officer Tatum, you know, your ass not invited to no cookouts either. Not that you want to be. You know, you'd rather be out on the sailboat, when, you know, in some loafers with no socks on, you know, and with your white cohorts.
You don't like white people.
A tool, you know, but
See, here, I don't know how people like this are employed. If I was his employer and I see that this is how he talks on social media, he wouldn't work at my company. I wouldn't tolerate that because I can clearly see that he's a racist. He don't like white people. I can't have that in my business. I can't. I need to make sure that the people that I hire and pay, that you guys are workers and you respect everybody that works here. I don't want people working here and this is how you feel about other people that work here, because what if other employees see your videos? Now they're gonna think, well, this person don't like white people. How did he see me? And I work with him. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't want my staff to feel, especially if I'm their boss and I'm paying them, and yet I'm expressing all this hate on social media. That would make people feel some type of way. When I was on the 9 to 5, we had whites, blacks, Asians, Russians, we had East Indian, we had Arabs, we had everybody working. Everybody. And with the way that company was set up, you know, you can't do all that foolishness on the job, man. You had to be a team player. You had to respect all your colleagues. We were like one big family. Doesn't mean we all had the same belief in God and political beliefs and all this other stuff. But when it came to being at the job, when you came to work, you did your job. That was it. That was it. I remember having conversations with coworkers, and I would tell them, let's not bring up politics. Let's not bring up religion. Let's just focus on the job. Because once you bring in politics, religion, you bring that into the workplace, it divides everybody. And there's other issues we just didn't bring up because it would divide us. We would just be arguing and fighting, and it'd just be a mess. So we knew how to keep it business. But with the way this guy is talking, it's like he don't like white people.
you know, it is what it is, man. But yeah, this dude, damn, he's going in for for his people. You know, we see what narrative you trying to push. How much they pay you, man? How much they pay you to go against your own community?
See, I don't like when they do that. He just said how much they pay Tatum to go against his own community. Tatum don't live in your community, sir. When you say own community, Tatum don't live in your community. Why do black folk believe that if you're black, you're a part of the black community? No. No. If I live here in this community is my community. I don't live in your community. So if you live around predominantly black folk, that's your community. Right or wrong? Right? But what we like to do is we like to shame black people as if though they're sellouts. They betrayed their people. I don't know why we do that stupid stuff, because a lot of black folk don't even like each other. All the black people that hate me, they don't even support me. They never hit the Cash App, never hit the Super Chat. So they don't support me. So why they keep complaining about stuff? And then they make it seem like white people are the ones supporting me. Like white people are flooding my pockets with money. When I look at my Cash App, I don't see white faces. I don't see white faces, guys. But they keep saying that I'm getting paid by white people. Really? Where they at? And if they got all this money, I should be seeing a lot of money. But when I look at my Cash App, I don't see shit. I don't. You know? You might have one, probably, I would say probably the most, probably like 4 or 5 people that I seen on my Cash App that appear to be white. 5. Oh, I'm making a bunch of money. Oh my goodness, bro. The white community is funding Ringo TV. Only people that you'll hear saying that are black, and they're always pocket watching you because they're jealous. They're jealous. I'm the least of your worries. This guy got more to say. Let's see. You got a little bit more. Let's kind of wrap it up a little bit.
It pays well. I know it does. But I could never. Like I said, it's not about dodging accountability, but
yes, it is.
We see what you want, man. So but yeah, you got up there and looked like a damn fool. A damn clown. It undermines your own credibility. So he's just the media version of an ambulance chaser. Dude ain't thinking about black folks unless it's to disparage us.
They always say that black people who hold black people accountable, that we're doing that to disparage black people. That's the dumbest thing I ever hear, fam. That's how you know he's not really about accountability. Because you believe that if somebody speaks against what black people are doing, it disparaging black people. That don't make no sense. If Tatum speak against issues that black people do on black people, that's not disparaging black people. What I don't agree with is the fact that he's siding with these young men during the Nolan Wells case. That is a no-no. I would never do that. There's certain things that I feel that he did in the interview that is good by giving them an opportunity to speak and this and that. But then there's some red flags. You look at that interview, and if you tell me you don't see those red flags, then something's wrong with you. There's key moments where there's information that we got that helps the case in terms of the boys letting the public know, like, hey, we already notified the mom about Nolan's phone, Nolan's keys. The mother's lying. She said that, they had to use Life 360 to locate where the phone was. That's a lie. It was debunked by the boys. If Tatum didn't do the interview, we wouldn't know that information. So in that regard, we're grateful and thankful for that. But there's other things in that interview that is a red flag. That's what I'm focusing on. Nothing is perfect, guys. There's things with the interview I agree with, and then there's things that I don't agree with. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a full breakdown, even though I talked about these videos already. I'm going to look at his full video, meaning the full interview, and break down that whole interview in one video. take the whole interview that he did with them boys and break it down from the beginning all the way through. That way it's all in one video. So I can show you guys what I don't agree with, man. Because a lot of people be getting mad at me because I'm not rocking with this one and that one. I've learned a long time ago, man. You can't rock with YouTubers, man. When you're a content creator, you can't rock with YouTubers, man. There's a few YouTubers that I respect their business. I respect their hustle. I frequent their channel and all of that. No shade to them. Me personally, what I'm talking about is collaborations, doing business with, and really trying to be extra supportive. I'm not going through all of that mess, man. I'm not doing that no more, fam. That stuff will get you burnt, bro. Like, for real, for real. You deal with people based on respect. There's certain content creators, I see what they do. I respect they hustle. I respect they grind. I don't bother them. I don't make no videos about them. I just stay out the way, and it is what it is. But when it comes to the Nolan Well case, I don't rock with Tatum, fam. So stop comparing me to this dude. Stop saying, oh, this and that. No, I'm not with none of that. He already said he took the side of those boys. I'm neutral. I'm on nobody's side. I'm on nobody's side, man. Because everybody is hustling at this point, trying to get as much money as they can off of Nolan Wells.
Like cases like this to try to propel himself, propel his career, whatever you want to call it. It's a damn shame, man. But I enjoy watching him squirm like a worm on a hook, But like I said, man, no amount of ass kissing, and attempting to ingratiate yourself to the white community, because the only reason they even give a damn about Tatum is because he spews the vitriol, the stereotypes, all the racist negative tropes.
I don't think that he spews racist nothing. Again, he's black. His wife is white. He's just doing what makes sense for his platform at this point. I don't think that he's just pushing stereotypes. Black people make these stereotypes come to pass. Look at a situation that nobody's talking about on YouTube right now. You had an elderly man beaten by a group of ninjas. Why the black content creators are not talking about it? Why nobody's talking about it? Let me see if I can pull it up. Because, you got all these Negroes. They're always talking about black this, black that, but nobody's really talking about the real issues. I'm going to talk about that video where you got black folk attacking and beating up elderly people. I think I got the video because I know I was watching a news report. Let me see. Is this it? Oh, here we go.
Corner of Baltimore City, where the community came out to demand action and accountability over the shocking video of a group of young men attacking a senior outside a 7-Eleven off of Liberty Heights Avenue. This is video that many of us have seen now and were appalled by. Our Drew Unks was at that march near the scene of the attack and joins us live tonight. Drew, the community is calling on those suspects, they told you, to turn themselves in.
Wonderful black community.
Those kids held accountable after they attacked that older man at the 7-Eleven, leaving him with multiple cracked ribs and broken teeth. For Queen Mother Victoria Smith, the corner off Liberty Heights Avenue where this 7-Eleven sits is personal.
The reason we're here is because one of our community elders was brutally beaten by 6 youth in front of this 7-Eleven. In front of the same said 7-Eleven Was where my youngest child, Victoria Swift, was brutally murdered in 2017.
That's why when she and other organizers saw this video of an older man being attacked by multiple young people, they knew they needed to act.
When I was watching the video, the only thing I kept saying was, please don't.
You got all these black influencers. Justice for Nolan Wells. You see them talking about this? Of course not. Ain't no money to be made talking about that. You got these animals out here attacking an elderly man. Busted up his teeth, broke his ribs, beating him, brandishing guns, knives. But people will have a problem with anybody holding the black community accountable. Make it make sense, guys. And when you show this type of stuff, black people get upset with you. Why are you showing that? You're making us look bad as a group of people. No, I'm not making nobody look bad as a group of people because that's not me. And that's not my kids.
That white Americans want to say, but they'll be called racist. That's why they love people like Tatum, man. Go in this comment section if you dare. You're going to be a majority white.
How come he's not talking about it?
That's what I've been wanting to say. You broke that down beautifully. You know, so you
How come he don't talk about those kids beating up the elderly? That's not even on his mind.
love Tatum. But, wow. But it is what it is, man. Just remember, you know, when tools outlive their usefulness, tossed aside, if not broken, one out left.
So, guys, that's about that. I'm gonna go pretty much make me some tea, get some breakfast going, some toast, scrambled eggs, and pretty much I'm gonna head on out to the park and get my workout going and pretty much do what I gotta do, guys. You know? So that's my take on that situation. Two grifters. Somebody says, so hold up. You saying Brandon Tatum is a grifter? Yes, he's a grifter. He's a grifter because it's a special kind of grift. It's a special kind of grift. He know. See, all right, this is what Brandon will do. Brandon, he's a chameleon grifter. Being that he has a white wife, he can't offend her, right? And being that he's black himself, well, then again, I don't even know. I would have to know who his father is, because Brandon can be the result of a white father, black mother. Always remember that. You know, I would have to look a little more and find out what's going on. Just like I did some research on Ben Crump. Based on Ben Crump, I did my research trying to find out who his biological father is. It gives nothing about a biological father. It talks about his mother and how he had a stepfather who the mother married. I'm trying to find out who his biological father is. It says that he was raised or born in North Carolina. So I'm trying to figure out who where he come from. You know, who his father is. And there's no information. Interesting, right? So you would have to know where Brandon come from. But nonetheless, I believe what Brandon does, he'll grift from either the white community or the black community based on what the situation called for. Now, that doesn't mean that everything he says is wrong, meaning all the content is trash, you can't trust nothing. That's not what I'm saying. In this Nolan Wells case, he's doing things that I find to be questionable because without evidence, you just can't look at these boys and say they're innocent. I can't prove that the boys committed a murder nor have I ever said that them boys murdered somebody. In none of my videos have I accused Nolan friends of killing him. I never did that. I just share my thoughts about what I see. I believe someone is covering up what happened. I believe that all these kids were drunk, using drugs. Nolan died of an overdose, possible alcohol poisoning. He probably had too much alcohol, too much beer. Something happened. He died. He fell in the water. He drowned. They know. They left. That's it. You know? So we'll talk more later, guys. I'm going to get up on out of here. I got a lot of videos I got to do. There's so many. I'm so behind on videos that I really got to get into a mode and just start knocking these videos out. But I'm going to have to do them as pre-recorded. I can't do them as live streams. I would never be able to accomplish this if I try to do all these videos as a live stream. So I'm going to have to do pre-recorded videos and try to knock them out fast. Probably do like 10-minute videos, 20-minute videos the most, and kind of get all my thoughts out there and just get them videos out and do what I got to do. So I'll catch you all on the next one. Let's get the likes up, guys. Y'all been hating very much, fam. Like, we've been on all this time. You have 300 people viewing. It's not even 200 likes. I be wondering what they watching. Imagine you watching me, but you don't support by hitting the like button. I'm out, y'all. Peace and blessings.